getting kind of noisy around here. It's weird, you know, I used to film in Chicago where there was noise all the time. Even though I was inside, there was noise. There were sirens and traffic and people. And here I am filming in the middle of Evansville, and the most noise is the occasional car. Boy, I couldn't have timed that better. That was absolutely awesome. Okay, hi everyone, this is Kim, and I'm here to show you a couple of different things today. I've been working in the garden this past week and have done some really fun things. I've really been working with my soil, mostly the mixture of my soil. A couple of things have been going on. The soil, sorry, there's a car over there. Well, there's a few of them. Anyway, the soil has been not so friendly to my plants lately, and I think I really just got the mix wrong. What I'll do is I mix coir, which is cocoa peat. Everyone talks about cocoa peat. There are other videos that explain better what it is, and I'll let them do that. But for me, I use cocoa peat, I use vermiculite, and I use worm castings, and occasionally I'll use composted manure as the other component if I'm out of worm castings, because worm castings for me are a little expensive. There's a great place to buy them. Actually, there's a couple of great places to buy them, but right now I just can't afford the worm castings. So I've used what's left of my worm castings and some composted manure and the cocoa peat and the vermiculite to make a much fluffier soil than what was in the pots originally. And by that I mean I have actually taken the plants that I have in here and I have repotted them in the same pot but with fresher soil and less dense soil. They're draining properly now, and that's absolutely wonderful. The soil is lighter and fluffy. The plants aren't having to fight as much to grow through it. I want to show you. Make sure I don't get bit here, because the last time I did this, there were spiders on the bottom. Any spiders? Please don't bite me. All right. This, are you gonna be all right? Okay. This is the Numex Heritage Big Jim that I've been nursing, and it is really taking off, and this new mix of soil seems to be really helping it. It's going to be too late in producing fruit before the frost comes, but what I'll end up doing is I will end up migrating this plant inside, and I'll see if I can grow it inside after having grown it outside. I don't know that I can. But you know what, this is a channel of misadventures, and I'm not too worried about this. I'm really excited to bring my pepper plants in for the winter. So anyway, this one is growing really well, and I'm really pleased with it. It's got new growth in here that is just really exciting me, and it's going to be picking up a lot better than it was growing in the past. The Serrano, I hope the same thing with regard to spiders. I hope there isn't any in here. Spiders? No? Yes? No? All right, I don't see any. The Serrano's doing great. There's a ton of new growth right here. This was topped off recently, and there's a whole bunch of new growth on top. And what I find interesting is that the stalk, stem, stalk, whatever, is getting very woody right down in here, which I'm glad for, because that means it's really taking root in growing a more woody stalk, and it'll pick up. My basil did that, and when I lived in Chicago, and once that woody kind of stem stalk, whatever, started to develop, the plant did wonderfully, and it put out seeds when it was supposed to put out seeds rather than bolting. It grew bushy. It was wonderful, and so I'm watching this to have it do the same thing, and you know, I think it's going to. So we'll go see what that does very soon here. These are my OSU blue tomatoes. I'm very proud of them as well. They've been picking up again since I put them in the new soil, and it's been wonderful. The idea here is that I'll grow these tomatoes and I'll bring them in again like the chilies. The tomatoes and most of the chilies I'm going to be bringing in this winter. But I'm really pleased with the way the soil has been helping this one. And the star of the tomato family here in Kim's garden is this one. This is the Golden Sun, which one is it? Golden Sun Rise cherry tomatoes, and this thing is just taking off like a shot. You know, it's caught a bug. The tomato's really been taking off like a shot. I'm completely thrilled with the way that this particular tomato has been growing. Now, the tomato, you know, plant, yeah, these look kind of wilty, but really they're not. The soil is nice and moist, and this is to the point where I could probably top it off. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stems here. I could probably take it right here, since there isn't another side stem there. I could probably take this here, top it off here, and no people are going to be screaming and shouting, no, you top it off this way, no, you top it off that way. Scream and shout all you want. I will listen to what you have to say, because I've only topped off tomatoes once or twice in my entire life of growing tomatoes. I will listen, but bear in mind that I have to do what seems right based on my understanding and what I learned from other people. So if I take a particular method with this in the future, it's not because I'm shunning your advice, it's just what seemed to work best at the time. Or at least seemed the right thing, whatever seemed the right thing to do at the time based on what I've learned. Wow. You'd think it was you'd think it was rush hour on the street here. This is nuts. I barely notice cars going by inside, and I'm right up here by the front window, and today they just seem to be everywhere. Okay. I'll tell you what, let me take you inside for a minute and show you what the garden looks like on the inside, and we'll go from there, and we'll talk a little bit more about future plans. So let me show you what that looks like. Hang on. So as you can see, the LED light is off. It's really usually something I only use for seedlings. We'll see if I end up using it this winter when I plant my next seeds or not. Anyway, this is the change in the garden. You can see that there's a lot of new growth. There's a lot of green that was not looking so great last time, and I'm really thrilled with that. Here's what I did. I refreshed the soil. The soil that I had, A, wasn't draining, and B, I don't think it had quite the right balance. So I worked on a new soil mixture using the same things I normally use, you know, worm castings, coir, and vermiculite, and the plants seem to be liking it better. They're a lot more green. You can see back here with the tobacco that it's really taking off, and here with the I think these are the, what are these? These are the big Jims? Yeah, these are the big Jim chilies. They're starting to come back. They've got a new growth up here. They're very green and verdant, and I can start trimming off some of these other leaves once they reach a certain point. The Thai basil, which is this here, will really what I want to end up doing with this. Now, this stake isn't really necessary. It's just there because it's there. So anyway, what I need to do with this, I need to top it off because I want it to bush out rather than grow tall and spindly, very much like the tomatillos are doing back here. And actually, this is kind of tied up. I don't know what's going on with those tomatillos, and I'm not worried about it. Those tomatillos may not make it this season, and that's okay. They were kind of an experiment just to see what they grow like. So this year they aren't going to produce any fruit, but I will have new seedlings for them next year. Back in the back there we have one of the tomatoes, and this is the San Marzano tomato. It's actually doing really well after having had a soil transplant. Let me move this a little bit. The tomatoes really picked up. It's gone very green again, and the roots have been growing really well. The leaves have been actually kicking in really well compared to what they had in the past. Same with the basil here. This is the sweet Italian basil, which I'm starting to get to bush out. I have a couple of heads to top off on that to get it to bush out. And this is the one plant of all of these things. This is the one plant that I have actually grown before. I grew this in Chicago, you may remember from some of my other videos, and it is just wonderful. the plant is nice and full. What I'm going to do is top a couple of its heads off again so it bushes out down here like the one I had in Chicago did. Now if you look back there, you can see that the sage is actually picking up, and so are the other chilies that are back there. Don't remember what those are. They're not important at the moment. But wanted to show you that that is what is going on here. And of course, my aloe plant is an evergreen, as it were. It is always doing well. So that's what's going on the inside. There are acorns everywhere, and I'm crushing them, and it's awful. Boy. It's maybe autumn, but there are still a lot of remnants of summer as this autumn comes in. It's coming in really slowly. The acorns are still falling. They're everywhere, and the grass is starting to die off in certain places. But that's mostly because my roommate, he cut it really short, because this grass is known for just shooting up. So he cut it really, really short, and in certain areas it's dying. And actually, you know what? I'm kind of glad about that. Because when push comes to shove, what I really want to do is garden outside and build, raised beds and things for my plants to go into when the next spring comes. I'm hoping that we get to do that, and it looks like we're going to get to. There's a couple of things that have to get taken care of first, but that'll end up happening, and as time allows, and that's kind of what I have to do. I have to be patient, and I'm thrilled that I'm going to be growing some new things to be planting out here. Now, on that note, there are some things that I want to plant this year that I'm going to do a couple of experiments with. Now, usually when I plant seeds for the spring, I plant them early, and I'm going to be planting most of my chilies here in November, I believe, sometime around Thanksgiving. But what I want to do, I got to watch out for myself. There are bugs that bite and do all kinds of weird things out here. We have great black wasps. So if I look around, I'm looking to protect myself from any, nasty critters that could be, making lunch out of me. So anyway, there are a couple of things I want to do, and the chilies and whatnot that I'm planting indoors will probably start off in that seed tray, or they will start off in other types of greenhousery that I can do inside. But there's one thing that I'm going to do that I saw on another gardening channel, the juicinggardener.com, and it was confirmed in the Renegade Gardening group on Facebook, is winter snow container seeding sowing. I'm not going to get the term right, so I'm sorry. But basically what it is you're taking plastic containers, you're putting soil in them, you're sealing them up, you've got holes on the top, you've got holes on the bottom for drainage, and you put them out in the snow. You actually put them out in the snow, and the way that this particular person did it, she put it out in the snow around February, I believe, and grew, cool weather crops like lettuce, and started some tomatoes, and big diesel engine truck coming by. Hang on. There's one thing this area doesn't have a shortage of, it's pickup trucks. Yes, I live in that type of an area. That's just the way it is. Anyway, so you take something like a plastic soda bottle, and I'll show you what I'm going to do when the time comes. But if you want to see what she does, head over to the Juicing Gardener on YouTube and check her out. She has a playlist, I believe, for winter seed sowing that talks about all of the methods for planting in the winter, seeding, putting them out in the snow, and watching them grow. It's really awesome. And she's got, like I said, she's got lettuce, she's got tomatoes, she's got, I think she had radishes maybe? And it's really cool. So I want to try that this winter. I want to try a couple of other things too. And there's going to be an indoor garden that will eventually come back out to the porch here, but it's going to be grown indoors to start off with because I can control the lighting better in there. And if you remember my early videos, once I got here in Indiana, I had the lighting rig set up in just such a way that the that the light was so focused on the plants, they were flourishing indoors. And that's what I want to do again with some of my plants this year before I move them out, either to what will end up being raised beds or what will end up being over here in the porch. And you know, this porch area is really awesome because the whole thing is enclosed, but what I can do with it is in the winter, even though it's not going to get a lot of sun because we'll have, you know, the awning here, it will get enough light once I put the grow light back out there. But in the winter, it's going to be cool, but it'll be enclosed from the elements. What I can do with that is, once I find out what the light's going to be like, I can see what I can grow out there because there's plenty of space, and all of the windows will be closed up, so it will help greenhouse the area. As long as I keep it humid and have plenty of light, I should be able to have a few plants out here as well. So what is that? In the winter, that's going to be 3 grow areas. If I get enough natural light out here, I will have a few plants growing on the porch. If I get the winter sowing done right, I'll have containers out here that I have to talk to my neighbors and make sure that they don't take, because they, you know, I don't want anyone interfering with my garden. So everyone loves to be out here, and it's a good thing because this is a nice area. There's lots of trees. You've seen photos that I've taken. The sky is wonderful, the sun is wonderful, and it's just a really nice, quiet and good area to grow. But it's a good area to have fun in. So a lot of people will be out here, and my neighbors to my left, your right, and the opposite like to kind of meander about, and I let them, you know, pick up things that they find in my yard. They love playing with the acorns and smashing them, but you know, what are you going to do? We're talking about, you know, junior high, high school kids and younger. So it's okay. I need to be out here when I'm planting these things and tell them, hey, you know what? I'm going to be growing stuff. If you want to watch it, that's fine. Just, you know, don't let anyone else take it, or don't let anyone else interfere with it. Just, you know, let the plants grow, and you'll be able to see some really awesome stuff happen over the winter. Excuse me. The girls really seem to like watching the plants grow, and whenever they have people over, they always talk to me about the plants that I've got here. They ask me questions. We talk about the acorns. We talk about the tree. You know, it's a fun time with people who are enjoying what I'm doing out here, and I'm really excited to have more out here for them to see, just as much as I am to actually have crops growing. It is, let's see, what is this? This is September 24th at the time that I'm filming this, and I'm hoping to, let's see, September, October, November. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm going to grow all of these things through probably mid to late October before I pull them in. What I understand about this area, the weather here stays warm longer. I mean, it is much colder in other places, like up in Chicago, the weather is bouncing up and down, and here it's staying consistent. It's staying from warm to hot, and that means probably around low to mid 80s to the low to mid 90s, and it's not fluctuating too much. We're averaging around 87 per day, and that's good for what I'm growing. And when it gets cooler, I'll probably grow spinach. And I found out from Ray over on the Praxis 55712 channel that radishes are hogs when it comes to how much light they need. So that's what happened with my last radishes. They didn't work out, but that's okay. They're going to again. Those will happen in the cold. I'm kind of debating on whether I want to plant those or not, but I might. I think I can have some use for radishes. But what really got me started in growing, really, again, was because I wanted to have herbs and I wanted to have chili peppers. You know, I cook with chilies and I cook with herbs all the time, and ultimately I want to have a Mexican garden that has things like epazote and Mexican oregano and hoja santa and you know, cilantro and a few other things, as well as having chili peppers that I use in my cooking. And I also want to grow some chili peppers from another region, which I'm doing. I'm growing a lot of New Mexico chili peppers. I've got the 6.4, I've got the Big Jims. Those fascinate me because I love green chilies, and this is the really cool thing. As a competitive chili cook, I would love to have my own roasted New Mexico, originally from Hatch Valley chilies growing that I can use in my chili verde when I compete. I love it. I've done very well as a chili cook in competition, so I'm hoping that this next season will get me to the point where I can go compete again. I don't know if I'll have fruit to use my own fruit when the first competition... What are you? You're just a fly, okay. When the first competition comes, I'm hoping to make it to the New England Regional Chili Cookoff. And if you are curious about that, go visit chilict.com, and that's, I think it's .com, and that is for the New England Regional Chili Cookoff, hosted by Mad Mike Friedman. Oh, goodness sakes, I am forgetting people's names again. Anyway, Mad Mike, as he's known in the chili world, hosts this particular chili competition, and it is awesome. I've been wanting to go for 3 years now, 2 years, 3 years, and I just haven't been able to get out there because it means cost. I have to fly out there, and I have to pay for a hotel and cab and general food while I'm there. The nice thing is that as long as I can, provide my own meats and everything, and spices and ingredients, they'll provide the stoves and pots and the tents and everything. It's a really well-run convention. I used to work in conventions, can you tell? It's a really well-run event. I want to make it to that this next year if I can, and I also want to make it to the... I believe it's the Louisiana State and Regional, hosted by the Blevins brothers down in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge, is that right? I speak French horribly, so I'm doing it better than John Travolta pronounced Les Miserables at the Emmys one year. So cut me some slack. Anyway, I can't believe I said that. Anyway. That's what happens with chilies I grow. I want to start cooking my own green chili, and I want to take some of them to chili competitions. I want to have my tomatoes and my salsa that I could compete with, and I want to have the red chilies like, excuse me, like the chimayo and the arbol and the pasilla and all of those things. I want to have them in my chili as well. So I do make my own chili powder, and I'm actually almost out of the arbol chili powder that I made. I need to make some more. But I make my own chili powders for my competitions. I do buy some, and there are some great places to do that. If you love chili, check out mildbills.com. Check out penderys.com. These are great places to get not just competition chili powders, but a lot of chili products, and they make well-grown things like cumin and other spices that you use in chili. So check them out. Oh, cumin is something else I want to grow. Don't know how I'm going to do that. But we'll see. Anyway, I've kind of rambled on about a bunch of different things, but the chilies are doing great. Stuff you saw inside is doing terrific. The tomatoes are doing terrific. I'm really excited that this new batch of soil is making a huge difference in what is growing out here and in there. And I hope that when winter comes, I'll have even more to show you. And I will certainly have more to show you when I plant this upcoming winter. Again, right after Thanksgiving. 2 cars going the opposite direction at once. This is always fun because our road is so narrow. But hi guys. But the whole point of the garden, is to learn and to, teach me and help others learn from my mistakes, and to have the experience of growing it. Winter. I'm hoping to have more to show in winter so that these videos can continue. And speaking of videos, if you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, go ahead and comment on the comment section below the video. Go ahead and you can like, you can dislike, and subscribe if you like. Share it with your friends, and check out some of the other channels that I've talked about. Praxis55712, that's Ray Brownie. He's a really awesome guy up in Iowa. There is Patricia in the Juicing Gardener, which is in that direction. Where? North Ohio, I think. If I've missed anyone, there are a few other people. I'll put some links in the section below so that you can follow those. And again, if you like what you see, let me know. You can let me know again, comments, likes, dislikes, whatever. And if you really want to see more, let me know what else you'd like to see. This is pretty much what I do, it's just showing you what I do, and I'm hoping that you enjoy it. Anyway, I gotta go. I will talk to you all later. Enjoy this video, and I will see you next time. This is Kim. This is a garden. We're out. Oh, goodness sakes.